do women mature faster than men?
Yeah, they do. Because I think women do mature a lot more faster and quicker than men, because we come from an Indian culture background where women are asked to grow up faster than men.
Nephew?
My nephews.
Nephew क्या होता है?
Nephews ही होते हैं वो. Nephew नहीं होता वो.
Nephew होता है?
Nephew होता है.
It's a South Bombay thing, I think. South nephew.
You're not going there.
South Bombay होता है ना?
Listen,
It
you're
is
not
South
going
Bombay,
there.
no?
नहीं.
ठीक है, जनता बताएगी. NEPHEW. Sorry, H.
Couple of men around me, they're very expressive. That whatever they feel like, they sort of express.
Quickly, what are the types of love languages?
So there are 5. Smart तो होना है.
बताओ किसके बारे में बात नहीं करना है?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
ऐसा
सब बात कर सकते हो.
सब बात कर सकते हैं.
What do you think? I'm full of what you're rolling and you're asking me a question.
बोलना नहीं चाहिए था यार. बोलना नहीं चाहिए था यार.
Oh God.
बताओ, what's happening, Ekta?
Nothing much. Hi Pratik. This is actually your standard. I think everyone should know your name is Pratik and not Deepak.
चलो इंट्रो कर देते हैं, ये काट देंगे हम. Welcome to the Chill Hour, guys. Today we have a creator and more than a creator, we have a dear friend. Ekta, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How's it going?
It's going great. इतना formal introduction
बताओ
क्यों दिया है?
बताओ तो
इतना
क्या
formal
चल रहा है?
introduction दिया है.
तो और कैसे दें बताओ. आप कर दो इंट्रो, अपना इंट्रोड्यूस कर दो आप इस कैमरा पे.
अगर मुझे introduction देना होता मैं खुद
अरे करो
podcast
तो
चालू
सही.
कर दिया होता मैंने अपना.
क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो स्टार्ट? Why you let's come to that only now. Why are you not starting your podcast? Or are you starting a podcast?
I have to call you broker actually first of all because
मेरा
I need
broker-
a place. So if everyone, all of you listening, मेरे को जगह दे दो कोई podcast.
You
के लिए.
are from Mumbai. You own a property in Mumbai.
Yeah.
You're
But I
already
stay there.
among the top 1% people in India who owns a property in Mumbai. Lavish property, guys. Yeah.
Like decent enough, but then I need a place for podcast ना. तो podcast के लिए
When
तो
are you
अलग
starting?
जगह चाहिए.
What do you want it to be on?
I am calling Maharaj and then getting the Muhurat done and then I'm starting.
What do you want it to be on? Relationships.
Relationships
Yeah?
and personal growth
Personal growth.
and all that. Yeah. I think.
Do you remember the views on your first video?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So initially it was like some 200, 300 views.
हाँ.
हाँ. It used to make me happy. I
अरे, of
remember
course.
the second, third video suddenly 5,000, 6,000 पे गया. And I was like, oh my God, this is too much.
ये अभी हमारे साथ हो रहा है, पता है भाई? Because we launched the Chill Hour Pod का Instagram page. And it's growing. It's about close to 200 followers right now. And because I've been there and I've built my own page and I'm now building the Chill
How
Hour
long
Pod.
it's been for you? I've never asked you. But I did. I think I must have forgotten then in that case.
This August it'll be 5 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Cheers to that.
cheers. So now we're
Cheers
building
करके कभी रखते नहीं
the
है, पीते हैं.
now otherwise.
There's no otherwise. मैं तो जो लोग मुझे बोलते हैं मैं वही बोलती हूँ.
But you don't ask what otherwise. What happens?
Nothing happens. शराब थोड़ी लगता है.
I want to quickly segue into something that a lot of young folks go through, which is love and breakups and a bunch of other things. How do men find most women attractive or beautiful, whereas is it the case with women also that I'm sure it's not.
It's actually not. So we basically women operate from a space of emotions, from a space of characteristics. First things first. So even if you look handsome, I would look at your characteristics, how you are as an individual, as a person. If you're empathetic, you're understanding, you're loving, you're caring. So these aspects, which are emotional aspects, agar tum mein wo hai, I'm definitely going to fall for it. Okay, given the
What
choice
is
that
with
I'm looking
men?
for somebody.
What is with
So
men?
for men, the first thing is, of course, like I said even in that podcast, that men are visual creatures. अगर तुम किसी बहुत अच्छी सुंदर महिला को देख लो,
सुंदर महिला,
तो you're
तो
definitely going to fall for, not fall, I would say you're going to get attracted to her. It's
Correct.
very natural.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
that's how men operate. Men don't operate from a space of emotions at first place. Emotions बाद में आते हैं. What comes first is what you see. So it's like मैं जैसे चीज़ों को देख रहा हूँ, so for women, men, it's more like what glasses are they wearing right now. If it's a rose tinted glass, that's how they're going to look at the world at.
Okay. Okay.
So for men, it's more to do with visuals rather than emotions.
Got it.
Emotions do come. Now what happens with men? Attraction comes naturally to them.
Yeah.
But emotions
Yeah.
and characteristics of a woman is what makes them stay
अच्छा.
and get glued to that female.
So you're saying that a visual appeal is the
And likewise it works for
introduction,
for females
and
as
then
well.
the first chapter is the characteristic, whereas for women there is no introduction. There's directly the first chapter, which is the
So
characteristic.
for women, even if that's what I'm saying, if there's a handsome guy right there, but if he doesn't know how to treat a janitor, say for example,
Got it.
or if he's ill-treating a waiter, or if he's like throwing tantrums while he's stuck in a traffic, while you got on a drive as a first date, say for example, she's gonna be like, dude, he doesn't even have patience. What is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna fall for someone like that who doesn't have patience. कितना भी handsome क्यों ना हो? So these things, so characteristics in terms of your individualistic nature,
Got it.
your traits is what I would put it. So traits, patience बोलो, understanding बोलो, willing to have that uncomfortable conversation बोलो, willing to work towards certain things बोलो. तो जो traits होते हैं, ये सारी traits है, that something makes a woman fall for a guy, and women are very easy in that case. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. Women are very easy. All they want is
I didn't say anything. I'm just listening. I'm a good listener. I'm just listening. Carry on.
that's called very manipulative listening. के अब वो दिमाग में कुछ और चल रहा है.
मैं कुछ नहीं बोल रहा. Carry on. Women are easy.
Women are,
is what you said.
No, but I'll be honest. What happens is, this comes from studies only. That women, in that case, they're not high maintenance unless and until you're not really understanding their basic needs, emotional needs. Men operate from logic, women operate from emotions. Simple. आदमी का कैसे है? Logic तुम दिखा दो. If when they see a female who's of course attractive, but she's intelligent, she's smart, that makes the guy fall all the more.
Okay.
And for female, what a female wants is someone who's operating from emotions, someone who gives me a listening ear, someone who makes me feel seen, heard, and important. Basic needs. So if someone is giving me importance, making me feel loved and known and acknowledged, I think it's a win-win then. So that's how men and women, they operate. And it's not tricky. That's why I said females are easy. Unless and until you understand her emotional needs, that's it.
Do women understand women?
I think they do. But it's very tricky.
Which is why I asked. Because men don't understand women clearly. So, which is why I asked the opposite question.
Why women take time to understand women also? Because we all see, if I am operating from the space of emotions, so does she.
Correct.
Right? And emotions can clash a lot of times. It's the play of emotion only.
Correct.
मेरी emotions कुछ और बोलती है, तुम्हारी कुछ और बोलती है. So it can clash sometimes. Which is why a lot of friendships, like female friendships, they operate from emotion only. The same thing that I spoke even in that podcast with Varun, that if a guy, if you don't call your guy friend for like few days, you're gonna call him and he's not gonna tell you कि हाँ भाई तेरे को तो time ही नहीं था. But with female, he's like, हाँ भाई बोल क्या चल रहा है. So most of male friendships is like casual. ठीक है, though there is depth, but you don't operate from emotions. Every time you meet your guy friend, you're going to talk about logic, work, cars, bikes, this, that, all those stuffs. Okay.
Yeah.
With females, we talk emotions.
Yeah.
Standard. If I don't call my friend, she's gonna tell me, हाँ तुझे तो वक्त ही नहीं है ना बात करने का. So there's a difference.
This you tell me also.
That I tell you also because I'm operating from emotions. No, I to tell you that listen,
yes,
you to don't have time only to meet. You have time only to do podcasts.
Which is why you're here. Don't blame it. But yeah, carry on. This gets very interesting because when you talk about friendships, opposite gender friendships are different.
Yeah.
Same gender friendships are different.
Absolutely.
And you rightly point out where you said that male friendships are so important because they have this safe space, so to say, where there's no judgment is the wrong word, but I think again for the lack of a better word we'll go with judgment. So there's no judgment so to say कि हाँ यार ठीक है. Even if so my best friend I have not spoken to him for like 6-7 months now, not even WhatsApp.
And you call your this friend and then tell him, he's like हाँ भाई क्या कर रहा है.
हाँ, it's very chill.
Yeah.
There's no ऐसा
But
नहीं
you
that
call
there's
me after 6 months, I'm not going to pick up your phone only.
yeah that's true.
I'm like, you don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is this? ये क्यों है?
I think
because when I call him, एक तो time zones are different because he's now in Australia.
Oh.
So time zones are different. But he recently left. I think 3-4 months back he left. But even then, he's in Calcutta. He's my Calcutta friend. So he's in Calcutta. I'm in Bombay. So even now that we're in different cities, we're not catching up as much. But even though there's no ऐसा WhatsApp पे भी बात नहीं हो रहा कि hi bro, what's up, what's happening, nothing. Calls, nothing. But when I meet the person, अरे भाई what's up, क्या चल रहा है, what's happening, and then we'll have like a 3-hour long discussion on life, everything under the sun.
Yeah. So with females,
no thoughts about तू बात नहीं कर रहा और तू busy है, ये है वो है. But with
I'll tell you what happens.
हाँ.
A lot of things for females, it comes from a space of expectation also. ठीक है? Because for the only mere reason that they operate from emotions, which is why there are expectations. So even when there is a male and female friendship, like you as my friend, I will definitely tell you that you don't have time to meet up, okay? Like to catch up or just to chill or whatever.
एक second, hold the thought. यार ये बहुत हॉर्न का आवाज आएगा, लेकिन अब बोर्ड तो लगा नहीं सकता कि पॉडकास्ट शूट चल रहा है. तो we'll continue. Sorry to cut you there. You were saying female friendships, like females operate out of emotions.
So it's like if you don't meet me, then I'm gonna, of course, there is going to be this banter coming from my end saying you don't have time and stuff.
Yeah.
Reason because there is an expectation that, like I said, females, they are very much conservatory in terms of relationships.
Okay.
They're very conserved. They're very. Did I say conservatory?
Conservatory, yeah.
What the fuck did I say?
What is conservatory? Conservatory is a restaurant in Juhu where we last chilled. What is wrong with you? Conservative.
Yeah, so they're
guys,
very
not conservatory.
They're very conserved.
They're very conserved.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So they have a very specific mindset and belief systems about relationships. So once they have relationship, they are very much they want to keep it in a enclosed circle. So supposedly if you're important to me as a friend, I'll make sure that I do not leave or I do not lose this important relationship or this friendship. And which is why when I see you sort of going away somewhere, like not meeting for a long time and things like that, obviously I'll tell you that you don't meet up like that.
Yeah.
Now if Siley doesn't we don't meet up or things like that, obviously I'll tell her, meet up, it's been so long.
Yeah.
Why?
And
because
her response will be very something that you'll know what her response would be.
Let's meet up and things like that. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I know also from the fact that even all of us, we operate from that space, and we don't want to lose relations that are dear to us, and which is why female friendships are a little tricky because even if a slight change in the expectation, when there's a difference between expectation and reality, where you want to be in touch with this friend of yours but they're not too much in touch, तो ऐसा लगता है कि यार ये सही नहीं चल रहा, ठीक है. And which is why female friendships are a little tricky, because there is a lot of expectations also. Like for me, I spoke the same that I have this one best friend of mine since last 16 years. Okay, we had a lot of fights in between, and our major fights have always been because of she being away for longer time. Okay, where I see that if she's not been in touch with me for a longer period, कि एक हफ्ता बात नहीं किया, कुछ नहीं, I'm like, what the f- is wrong with you?
Yeah. Where are you? Yeah.
At least tell me hi. Like that. And I realized that now over the period of time, there are times when even I'm so busy now. Like, you know, when you grow up, only then you realize. And now in my 30s, I realize कि अरे यार, takes time. For people, everyone have their own time and space and non-negotiable work to do. Everyone's busy in their own life. So जरूरी नहीं कि तुम्हारी रोज बात हो. जब भी हफ्ते में एक आधी बार हो जाए, या 15 दिन में एक बार, या even once a month, you're always going to have that emotion for that person. So I think that kind of wisdom that comes with age, I feel.
Okay.
And a lot of people I know, the youngsters, Gen Zs, there are some of them, they do have this wisdom, but बहुत rare है ये.
I'm sure they do, but break it down. मेरा responsibility है question पूछना, you answer it and break it down. Do women mature faster than men?
Yeah, they do, because I think women do mature a lot more faster and quicker than men, because we come from an Indian culture background where women are asked to grow up faster than men, where men have been given that leverage to chill out, relax, and have their life with ease. I'm not saying that they're not asked to go out and hustle. That's a different story. But women from a very tender age, they're asked to look after, become responsible for people around them.
Yeah. Take care of them.
There is a difference. Suppose if there is a boy in the house, like a boy child and a girl child. If a boy child, both of them 10 years of age, say for example, the guy, if he's chilling on the couch, he's not been expected of anything. But for a female, a girl child, she's been expected of basic things of look after what your dad wants. See, look after. It's like she's been asked to be responsible for everything around her. So emotionally, she's been trained so much that she's been asked to mature all the more faster.
I have a younger sister. वो तो पड़ी रहती है, उसको तो कोई कुछ बोलता नहीं है.
That's a different thing. Then I think it's
she's the queen of the house. I have a very simple philosophy where I say that बेटियों का
but it's not to do with chilling and all. I'm not talking about.
पटता है और बेटों का बाप से फटता है. मतलब it's the same thing.
But I'll tell you what, more than that, if you see, she might be emotionally mature.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So they become mature. When you say mature, it doesn't have to do with doing household chores.
Yeah. Fair
I'm
enough.
saying maturity, मतलब वो chill करती
No,
है.
I'm just saying this in good jest. Don't pick up this clip and I'm sure she's watching this. It's like, ये ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया? I'm like, ठीक है, देखना चुपचाप.
No one. But ऐसी बहुत सारी बहनें जो देख रही है फिलहाल.
वो बहनें किसी और की होगी. हमारी तो दोस्त है.
Okay, we're looking for a potential partner for Deepak. Anyone, please send your resume on Deepak's.
Moving on.
There's a link in bio, his bio. Please go and send your CV.
Link in bio में YouTube का channel है. Please go and subscribe.
नीचे email है section. You can do that. Anyway,
moving
coming
on.
back to it.
Moving on, yeah.
So when you
lot
say
of people
mature,
should.
I think women, they mature emotionally. So they do mature. And when I say being responsible, which means being responsible for people around you, which means ऐसा कोई चीज़ें मत करो जिससे किसी को hurt हो. You know, parents teach females, women in the house to be more humble, more loving, more giving than teaching the same to guys. Now, in our household, like I see my nephews and everybody, my nephews.
Nephew.
Nephews, okay? वो उधर से nephew से लेके यहाँ तक का पूरा शॉर्ट कट हो जाएगा. हाँ, मोहित आप करने वाले हो ना? पूरा कट कर देगा.
कुछ भी नहीं होगा भाई, कुछ भी नहीं कट हो रहा.
Anyway. for the boys in my house, we've always made sure that they are equally trained for everything.
Like,
Whether it's to do with household chores or whether it's to do with तुम्हारी basic emotions, because
do all of the men in your house know how to cook?
Yeah, that's a good part. So they know how to cook
When did they learn how to cook?
randomly by themselves.
Okay.
कि चलो बनाओ, चलो कुछ बनाओ, all of them. ठीक है? Now the thing is,
What can your husband make? Good. बताओ तो.
we're not talking on
बताओ.
this. Listen, this ये cut हो जाएगा.
बेवकूफ बनाने से. बताओ तो.
I'm not. We are not talking this.
What can your husband make? बताओ ना, please.
ये पूरा cut होने वाला है. Talking about all the men in my house, okay? Men, boys in my house, particularly, okay?
Okay, moving on. Yeah. Men in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Boys in the house. Men and boys.
Boys in the house. हाँ, फिर they're trained equally.
Yeah, they're trained equally in terms of managing their emotions also. You know, expressing their emotions, because a lot of times, you know, boys are saying, अच्छा क्यों रो रहे हो यार, लड़की हो क्या?
हाँ, ये इस पे बात करना था.
अब a lot of times, like I see, boys से ही शुरू करते हैं. Men तो छोड़ो. When they grow up, like when boys grow into an adult as a man, they are asked to tame their emotions, not express. Whether it's to do with crying, expressing, speaking, sharing, whatever. Nothing of these sorts. क्योंकि तुम बचपन से उनको नहीं सिखा रहे हो कि यार ठीक है, रोना है तो रो लो, there's no harm into it. And which is why it's very important, especially in, like I said, the boys in a house, we've always made sure that if you feel like crying, cry, that's fine, there's no harm. So I know a lot of times our nephews are crying. So I ask them, अच्छा, tell me, why are you crying? What is it?
Which is why if they don't when they don't express from a very young age,
yes,
they become inexpressive adults.
Yes.
And
they turn into a close adults, which means that they've built walls around them, because we've been asked not to express ourselves. They've never tried to. So even as a grown-up adult, when they even feel like doing it, because there's so much in them that they've sort of, you know, buried it inside. Even if they feel like doing it, they're like, अरे यार, पर लोग क्या सोचेंगे यार, मैं आदमी हूँ, I have to be tough.
Correct.
And because men are asked to be tough, they don't express themselves. And which is why, like in my surrounding, everyone around me, we always sort of motivate men and boys, everybody, to speak up, to share what they feel. More than how they are, it's like, how are you feeling? So if you're not feeling well, tell me what happened to you. So, you know, like I said, my nephews, I tell them, अच्छा क्या हो गया? Why are you crying? Tell me. Is there something that's bothering you? Share with me. And if you feel like crying, cry. There's no harm. So a lot of times, you know, other people in the house are like, रोता क्या है? लड़की है क्या? I'm like, नहीं, सिर्फ लड़कियाँ नहीं रोती है. हर एक इंसान रो सकता है. रोने दो. Let him cry and
it's the most vulnerable form of expression. मतलब
I don't think it's a vulnerable form of expression. It's the most important form of expression, because there's so much inside of you that's buried that you feel like it's like you're venting out. And venting is important. देखो अलग तरीके के vent out होते हैं. जैसे बहुत आदमियों को मैंने देखा है गुस्सा करके वेंट आउट कर देते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि और कोई तरीका हमको बताया ही नहीं गया है. हमने सिर्फ हमारे घर में बाप दादाओं को देखा है कि वो गुस्सा करके या चिढ़ के या एक भड़क करके, you know, they let out their anger.
Correct.
Or their emotions. Even if they suppose they had a bad day at work, that could be emotionally they're not feeling good. The only way to vent out is by being angry.
Correct.
So that's what they've been taught since their childhood. And your childhood does matter a lot. How you've been, how you're trained as an individual, your experience, your exposure, all of this matters a lot. A lot. And what we are today is because of our childhood. And I think it was just yesterday that I shared one of a reel on the childhood. That our childhood upbringing, even the surrounding, it shapes us into who we are. So it's very important. A lot of times, you know, when parents are fighting for something, वो सोचते हैं कि अरे छोटा बच्चा है, वो क्या समझेगा? वो भी समझ रहा है. He's picking it up. So be mindful of what you do, how you act, what you speak, because they're picking it up. Because when we talk about neuroplasticity, it begins from a very young age. Because the minds are constantly evolving for a kid, even for us also. So you're constantly picking up. There are a lot of influences around us. For kids though, it's all the more because they go to school. They have influences like peers, teachers, lot of them. And हमारे लिए भी उतने ही है. Social media to add on today. It's like that. Sorry.
क्यों दिया गया था साइलेंट कर देने के लिए, लेकिन एकता दीक्षित has a lot of work, so her phone is popping.
Sorry.
Anyway, we speak about men and women from varying perspectives, right? Like we speak about men not being expressive enough, whereas women are more expressive, and the foremost thing that women have a problem with men is them being inexpressive,
Yes.
them not being able to communicate what they are going through, right? What
they're going through and also what they feel. For a lot of men, they don't even express कि उनको relationship में भी कैसा feel हो रहा है. Suppose if you, I see a lot of men when they feel emotional towards their better half, their partner, they don't express. One of a beautiful thing that I see in a lot of relationships around me, I see couple of men around me, they're very expressive. That whatever they feel like, they sort of express. If that means they even cry while expressing, and that's a beautiful thing. There's nothing like it. Expression could be of any form. तो बता दो. So that is one of the issue कि यार तुम अगर किसी के लिए कुछ feel भी कर रहे हो तो बताओ ना, बोल दो. Why you like, because you're so scared of, I'm not supposed to do that because I'm not asked to, because I've never seen my father doing it.
Yeah.
I've never seen men around me doing it.
do men, which brings me to a very interesting point, do men look up to men as role models only?
Yes.
Why don't men look up to women role models? Is that a case?
Because we see the first discrepancy is of course the body, the differentiation that happens at a very younger age. When you see when you actually keep kids together, like a male and a female kid, at a very tender age they start realizing the difference between both of them because of the anatomy. And that's the question that arises, why she doesn't have that, what I have it, and blah blah blah, things like that. So which is why discrepancy वहीं से आ जाती है. So I see I am different and you are different, and which is why they don't see females. Like I said, females operate very differently. Emotional, someone who's very you won't see guy who's very coy. Females are, right?
Yeah.
Guys are always I would say not always but mostly they're edgy. Okay, there's someone who's out there loud in terms of hustle culture में बोलो, काम में बोलो, relationship में भी pursue करने के लिए बोलो. Today we see a lot of females going and pursuing men. So tables have turned also, for that matter. If I feel for somebody, I will be vocal about it rather than letting it bury inside of me, which was the case earlier. Because females were not supposed to speak up, right? They were being taught to tame themselves कि यार जो feel होता है ना अंदर ही रख दो, बोलना नहीं है. Now females are asked to speak up, to raise their voice, but how you raise matters. ठीक है, because वो ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि when you say कि अच्छा raise your voice मतलब वो feminism बाहर आ जाती है, where you're like you're trashing people. And one thing that I feel bad about this feminism is people think that feminism is more to do with putting men down. Feminism is not putting men down. Feminism is that I value you but I value myself also. Simple. It's that. Feminism has nothing to do with putting men down or degrading them.
Equality of position.
That's it. It's like party of two equals. That's it. But I think feminism का narration ही change कर दिया लोगों ने.
You see these reels coming up, oh feminist है, ये है, वो है. अरे यार तो मतलब you define feminism, no? And why is it taken in a different context?
I'll tell you, people are also, because we see a lot of men, I'll be honest, men who are narcissist in nature, they can't take a slight bit of variation in the authority being given to female. अच्छा, female
break
को
that
इतनी
down
authority,
थोड़ा सा.
अगर अथॉरिटी पहले से फीमेल को ज़्यादा अथॉरिटी दी नहीं गई थी. अब जब थोड़ी सी देर है वर्क स्पेस में बोलो, घर में बोलो, वेयर शी इज गिवन दैट अथॉरिटी टू मेक डिसीजंस, टू टेक कॉल फॉर हर सेल्फ और फॉर लाइफ और व्हाटएवर, सो दैट लिटिल वेरिएशन इन गिविंग देम द अथॉरिटी, बिकॉज अथॉरिटी का हमेशा जिम्मा तो सिर्फ आदमियों ने लिया था. अब सडनली जब फीमेल को थोड़ा दिया जा रहा है तो लॉट ऑफ मेन आर नॉट ओके अबाउट इट.
Do they feel threatened?
They feel threatened because men are all about power. And they feel that they're losing out on
And
power.
women are about?
About emotions. They are about love. They are more, they come from a space of nurturance. So females are more about care, love and nurturance.
And men are about?
And men are about power, authority, and they're more about coming out as a tough person. Someone who...
Inexpressive.
Yeah. Not inexpressive, you can express, but how you express, like I said...
Relatively is what I mean.
मतलब एक्सप्रेस तुम कैसे कर रहे हो. अब तुम्हारा दिन गंदा गया है, ठीक है, you not had a very good day. ऑफिस में maybe you had a fight with somebody, or maybe your boss just tried to be too bossy, and suddenly you come home and all you do is you just trash talk with your family members. You just be angry, you're throwing things and tantrums like these. So you feel hurt, but you're showing hurt as anger.
Got it.
So change.
How would a woman respond if she had a bad day?
I think that's very subjective. That depends on women to women. For someone like me, if I've had a bad day, I would feel sad about it. Maybe I'll even shed some tears. But I'll just sit down, I'll think about it, I'll see what can I do about that whole thing, whatever has happened. I will communicate about it, but I will communicate it effectively. And not, I know that I will identify hurt as hurt. I'll not identify hurt as anger. I'll identify what emotion that I'm experiencing right now. मैं उसी को उसी तरीके से बताऊं कि अच्छा something something wrong has happened to me. Someone has done wrong to me. Okay, किसी ने suppose मुझे hurt किया in some or the other way. हाँ, तो I will not show my hurt through as an anger. Okay, this, that, I'll not give a silent treatment. I would rather speak it out that listen, I'm hurt because of this thing. I may even cry while expressing it. So I identify the emotion, what I'm feeling, and express it the same way. And I think यहाँ पे हम बहुत सारे लोग गलती करते हैं. हम बैठ करके पहली बात इमोशन को आइडेंटिफाई करना नहीं चाहते कि यार क्या फील कर रहे हैं. अच्छा बता दो क्या फील कर रहे हैं. Am I feeling that emotions of despair, hopelessness from this situation? For say someone who is in a situationship, ठीक है, तो they are in this whole emotions of despair and hopeless क्योंकि होने वाला है नहीं कुछ blah blah thing. So I'm going to identify that emotion and then ask myself, okay, two things I can do. I can communicate with that person and see if it can get any better, and if not, then I'll take hold and take charge of it, rather than उसको अलग twist करके या manipulate करके and then I'll show it in a different way.
Interesting. What kind of movies do you watch?
So I love rom-coms.
Okay.
But I've also become lately as in since a year maybe, I've become more of a science fiction person. I love sci-fi. Especially
Which
something that
movie
brings
did you like?
Something that brings curiosity in me. I think more than anything.
मसाला पसंद है कि नहीं बॉलीवुड का?
Oh, I have grown up watching all those. मतलब मेरे को
Now
ना.
you don't enjoy मसाला?
नहीं, I do, but बहुत कम. मतलब अगर आप.
Which is your favorite Bollywood movie?
था, but I would still say it still sticks to my heart, which is RHTDM.
रहना है तेरे दिल में.
तो I have grown up watching movies, like Hindi movies, पुरानी वाली बोलो, black and white बोलो, because I remember मेरी childhood में every time I used to come back from school, तो अच्छा आप school से आए तो I vividly remember this. TV लगाया, खाना खाया, TV लगाया और ऐसे फर्श
खाने के साथ साथ टीवी के साथ खाना या फिर खाने के बाद टीवी?
खाने के बाद. I've never had a thing because we always
oh,
had
you're
a
not
golden
Gen Z,
house. I'm not a Gen Z.
Yeah.
That I use my phone.
Netflix and food, yeah. Netflix and lunch, yeah.
I don't. I sometimes do that.
Does your
like
nephew?
Netflix wala.
Does your nephew do this?
Nephew? No. We have a rule in the house. So
Which
we have
is?
a rule which is कि अगर आप खा रहे हो तो टीवी या कोई भी source
Screen.
of screen time नहीं होना चाहिए. So we're just eating food. We're solely focusing on it. It has to be like a family time.
Okay.
So we don't watch. तो बचपन में भी every time I used to come back from school तो अच्छा फर्श पे लेट गए खाना खाने के बाद टीवी लगाया और ऐसे लेट करके मस्त उस टाइम पे आई रिमेम्बर स्टार गोल्ड जी सिनेमा ये सारे चीजों में जो मूवी आती थी आई टू वॉच इट एंड देन पता वो उसके नीचे वो केबल में ना नीचे आता था कि नेक्स्ट मूवी कौन सी आ रही है आई यूज्ड टू बी सो हैप्पी एंड क्यूरियस अबाउट अच्छा कौन सी आ रही है एंड देयर यूज्ड टू बी टाइम कि जब I used to watch them back to back. कभी-कभी ना वो back to back इतनी अच्छी movies चल रही है सब 90s की 80s की. I used to love watching.
Have you seen Suryavansham on Star Gold?
That is the only movie that I have not watched. क्योंकि I think Star
Every
Gold,
weekend I think Suryavansham.
Star Gold
Suryavansham हाँ Vansham हाँ.
Suryavansham only.
हाँ.
Because Suryavanshi is अभी
हाँ
वाला.
हाँ वही I get confused.
तो बट मैंने दोनों ही नहीं देखी है बिकॉज आई थिंक स्टार गोल्ड ने शायद से उसकी लगता है वो पेट नहीं खरीद लिया है भाई मुझे ही दे दो मैं ही चलाता सो आई हैव नॉट वॉच दैट आई वॉच एवरीथिंग लाइक दिल मूवी देन पुराना हम दिल दे चुके सनम एंड ऑल दैट ऑल दोस मूवीज आई टू लव वाचिंग पुराने आल्सो इवन ऑल द मोर पुराने ये तो मैं ना हर टाइम बोलती हूँ कि वी ह्यूमंस आर प्रीटी सैडिस्ट लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट ऑल ऑफ अस आर अगर कुछ हार्ट ब्रेक हो गया या यू हैड अ बैड डे द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू डू इज लिसन टू अरिजीत सॉन्ग और दुख फील करो यार मेरे साथ कितना बुरा हो गया यार मेरे साथ बहुत बुरा हो गया
मेरा एक फ्रेंड पूरा चन्ना मेरा फेस उसका ऑन ही रहता है पूरा टाइम all the time is
कंगना रनावत वाला है ना
ओ बेदर्दिया आई एम लाइक भाई तू रोना बंद कर यार मतलब no Siri Thanks. Carry on. Sorry.
So ये क्यों दिया गया था अपना सब बंद करने का बट
ये दब के हो गया ठीक है ना You're tech unsavvy that way.
Yeah, but I think we are so sadist in nature.
Yeah. अरिजीत सिंह
कि पूरा दुखी वाले गाने और भी सुनो ताकि और भी दुख फील करो खुद के लिए और खुद के लिए और भी बुरा फील करो and we have a habit. ये पता नहीं क्रॉनिकली आ जाता है लोगों को अपने आप आ जाता है कि अच्छा समथिंग बैड हैज हैपेंड विद मी टुडे आई हैड अ वेरी बैड डे और दुख फील करो यार मेरे साथ बहुत बुरा मेरी जिंदगी बर्बाद होगी व्हाट इज इट कंगना रनावत वाला सम डायलॉग सो वो लोग वो करने बैठ जाते हैं
इंटरेस्टिंग लास्ट कपल ऑफ क्वेश्चंस
मैं दीपक एक गाना सुना दो लाइक सिंस आई सेड आई रियली लव सॉन्ग्स सो
सुना दो मतलब क्या स्पॉटिफाई पे चला देते कॉपीराइट आ जाएगा वो प्रॉब्लम है
खुद की आवाज में सुना दो
उस्ताद साहब रियाज के बाद सुनाएंगे which brings me to a very interesting question how important is sense of humor for women and also you should speak for from the men POV like from a man's POV like maybe पहले women perspective बता दो how important is a sense of humor in a potential partner or from a male friendship or even through a female friendship generally overall. yeah overall
sense of humor there's a beautiful quote which says that your beauty your fun parties will wear off but what stays is having a partner who can make you laugh no matter what this beautiful quote that I still stick by and there is a beauty in it because having someone you can just laugh with and someone who has a very good sense of humor you can chill around so someone who has the chillawa
carry on
also Deepak has a very good sense of humor
we'll play this in the hook
ऐसे
and
बोला
repeat
it's okay
3 बार चलाएंगे इसको एकता कपूर स्टाइल में
मैंने
Deepak has a good sense of humor anyway
so what happens is when you have a partner who has good sense of humor you know that every day is going to be you're going to have some fun and banter between you two and that's something that keeps the relationship alive sane नहीं बोल सकते but alive something that makes your relationship thrive
Okay. Okay.
ठीक है, rather than just survive, because after a while you know each other.
Yeah.
You know your ins and outs and abouts and everything. But having that uncertain humor at the times of dark times or despair times or tough times or whatever, good times के साथ. So someone who has that light humor is always like the cherry on the cake.
You're funnier or your partner is funnier?
I can't answer that. What are you asking? I can't relate to this question only.
Spontaneous podcaster, guys. Carry on, yeah. Sense of humor
I can't
keeps
relate,
the relation like thrive. It makes a relationship thrive.
Yeah, also humor is very, very important, I feel.
I think in general, not just in
general-
a relationship or not just in any relationship,
Also, there
rather.
are studies that says that someone who has good sense of humor, they have a potential to keep life light. Okay, someone who has this zeal to live life, someone who doesn't take things personally, someone who takes things easy. They look at the brighter side and positive side of life, and it's very important. So someone who has good sense of humor, they know that they can sail through whatever comes. तो ये studies भी बोलती है.
Do women like guys who have a good sense of humor?
Oh, of course, yes. Of course, yes. Someone who can make us laugh, we would love it anytime. But like I said, more than just making a woman laugh, it's also to do with understanding her emotions. I think that's the top most. I think men need to understand this one simple funda. Understand female's emotion. What is she trying to express? What is she trying to look in a relationship? What are her non-negotiables? That's it. अगर तुम समझ जाओ ना कि अच्छा एक फीमेल के लिए ये नॉन नेगोशिएबल है कि अच्छा ये चीज़ें चाहिए रिलेशन में कि जहाँ तुम मुझे समझ के लो, मेक मी फील हर्ट व्हेन आई एम एंग्री, ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज माय पर्सपेक्टिव एंड समटाइम्स आई जस्ट वांट यू टू लिसन टू मी. बेसिक थिंग्स तुम समझ जाओ कि व्हाट एग्जैक्टली फीमेल वांट्स, व्हाट आर हर नॉन नेगोशिएबल्स. नो, इट्स नॉट अ मिस्ट्री, इट्स जस्ट कम्युनिकेशन.
Take it, okay.
That's the magic word.
Good jest, guys.
Yeah,
Good jest.
but communication is a magic word. I'll be honest. I see a lot of couples, they don't communicate. If there's some kind of misunderstanding or some kind of discomfort in a relationship, they don't communicate about it. So if you want your relationship to thrive, have even the uncomfortable conversations with an open heart. And come to a midway conclusion that works for both the partners. So humor is very important, but more than that, understand what does your respective partner wants. That's all the more important, that what she wants in a relationship emotionally.
Quickly, what are the types of love languages?
Well, there are 5.
Quickly wrap it up. This is a reel, so quickly wrap it up.
I've already put up a reel on this.
अरे
Okay, joke.
यार, what is this यार
it's a
एकता?
light.
What is this यार तू?
Watch ya, Deepu. But yeah,
Very
there are 5.
platonic.
We are going to repeat these 5 love languages. One is your quality time, where you give each other quality time without any distractions, which means that keeping everything away, no distractions whatsoever. A lot of people think that quality time means हम दोनों बैठ करके movie देख रहे हैं साथ में. That's not a quality time. Quality time is where you communicate, you spend time, even if that means that just sit on the beach with each other, no distraction, nothing, just chilling.
Is it undivided attention?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Second is gifts. Okay, you give gifts. A lot of people, I see a lot of, अगर हम पुरानी movies देखें तो उसमें हम देखते थे कि पापा बहुत सारे गिफ्ट्स ला रहे हैं बच्चे के लिए. मतलब पापा को टाइम नहीं है, but gifts is just the way to show love. So the kid understands कि gift ही तरीका है प्यार जताने का. So gift is one of the way where you understand कि giving and taking gifts is basically a love language.
Okay.
And third is basically physical touch, where you think that any kind of intimacy, it could be holding hand, rubbing each other, it could be giving a massage, it could be any intimate act, anything overall is basically the way to give and receive love.
Okay.
A lot of people, they don't communicate, they don't spend quality time, but they think that physical touch is basically their love language.
Okay.
But usually it's it goes two way. मतलब physical touch के साथ there's always something also that your partner also demands, because जरूरी नहीं कि दोनों का love language same होगा. So
Correct,
it's very important
correct,
to understand that.
Correct.
Then fourth is your words of affirmation, which means that आप बातों से जताते हो कि अच्छा, you know, I love you, you really look good, or I really love the way how you dressed up today. And even if that means कि you've given compliment to your partner, अच्छा चाय बहुत बढ़िया बनी है आज. Anything. It's through
Got it.
words that you show love.
Got it.
It's through your words you express. So a lot of people, you know, when we say that men don't express, that also comes from a space कि यार बातों से भी बता दो. अब बहुत, you know what happens with men, they are like कि यार पर मैं उसको इतनी अच्छी गिफ्ट ला करके दिया, and she still complains that oh you don't give me time, you don't love me.
Fair enough.
So ask her, what's your love language? How do you understand love? Tell me what's your language of love. So I will express it in that way. And if your partner comes and says कि अच्छा quality time दे दो, that's her love language.
What is your love language?
Quality time. And yeah, that's quality time and words of affirmation, two things.
Okay.
I think fifth भी है, which is acts of service, which
Okay.
means that if you do something for me, मतलब चलो मेरे लिए, suppose I came home and I'm tired, you make me a nice hot cup of coffee and sit with me and chill. Okay, that's like I love language. Cheers. So it's like these little acts that you do for a person. It could be you just say कि अच्छा what are you doing? Let's go out for a drive. Could be anything. That is quality time. ये अगर mix हो जाता है, ठीक है?
अच्छा,
So
yeah.
they are overlap each other. Acts of services मतलब तुम कुछ उनके लिए काम कर रहे हो, जैसे कुछ चीज खराब हो गई है,
So
तुमने
are you-
सामने से रिपेयर करके.
Okay, so gift then is like a subset of act of service?
No, not really. Acts of
Okay.
service is like you do something for them, which means तुमने उनके लिए
हाँ, so
चीजें
gift.
fix कर दी.
For example,
नहीं,
gift
नहीं.
is an act of अच्छा, okay,
Acts
fair
of
enough.
service मतलब तुम कुछ
Fair
service
enough,
कर रहे हो.
fair enough. Got it.
Now,
Okay.
Acts of service could be that I'm giving a massage to my partner. Even it overlaps with physical touch and giving a service.
Got it.
Both. So through a service that you're giving out love. Now a lot of people they're like, यार but उसने मुझे बोला ही नहीं that you know I told my partner I love you, but then उसने मुझे बोला ही नहीं.
Correct.
And what he did was just got me a cup of coffee and but at least tell me.
Yeah.
So you understand?
Yeah.
तो ये क्या हो जाता है कि सामने वाले को words के through चाहिए था कि अच्छा मुझे बोलो that you love me too.
Correct.
But what you did instead, you just got me like whatever. You did a service to me.
Correct.
Okay, like you dropped me at the airport, maybe while I'm heading somewhere. That's an act of service. So through
Got
these acts, you show me that you love me like that. And you know what happens is, I'll tell you, there's a drawback of having physical touch as a
Priority. Like as the number one.
this thing. क्योंकि बहुत बार when you are a physical touch person, like as a tactile person, randomly for anybody, sometimes who's not a tactile person, it can get so damn weird. Like for friends also, for that matter, and you're like so tactile, and the other person is not. Like a friend also, even for that matter, a female friend.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of female friends that way. I would just go and hug, and I'm like, it's like how okay. I'm
So
like,
I've read
what?
this book. It's called Why Men Don't Listen and Women Can't Read Maps. It's
is
by Alan and Barbara Pease. They're a couple and they're both relationship coaches. And they speak about
I've been
how
wanting to read this book. How is it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah?
It's fantastic. Great insight in terms of how men and women operate. And it says that men really don't listen that way. Whereas women can't read maps. Like women suck at reading maps, like legit maps. So they'll, I don't know, they're built differently. So
Built differently, that goes back to our original conversation that we had, that women operate from the space of emotions and not logic. And
so
for guys, they
it's
operate
more
from the
of
space of logic.
Logic,
And they're more analytical in nature.
Yeah. A woman can,
Not everyone.
I'm saying a woman can tell the kind of touch.
Of course.
है ना?
Of course. A lot of times a woman can actually understand the touch, and which is why a lot of times when the touch is very uncomfortable, woman starts
Distancing
and starts pulling away. It's like, भाई दूर ही रहो तो ठीक है.
भाई तुम दूर रहो,
तुम distance में
creep
ही
बन रहे हो
रहो.
भैया, थोड़ा दूर रहो.
Distance में ही रहो. I still remember there was this one shoot that I went for, which was like years back. I went for an ad shoot, okay, and
देख रहे हो बड़े बड़े लोग. Anyway, carry on.
I went for an ad shoot because I always wanted to go in Bollywood or things like that, like get into the shoot stuff and that industry.
Okay.
But I didn't because most of my family members, like my cousins, my brothers, and a lot of them are in the industry. So I was intrigued and I was charmed by the industry. But then they used to tell me, ki, listen, it's a very dirty industry, don't get into it. It's not as you think as it is. Okay. So I was like, अच्छा ठीक है. So which is why I just backed off. कि अच्छा छोड़ो जाने तो ये होने वाला है नहीं. Chuck it. So most of them, they're either post producers, they're high-end editors, directors and stuff like that. So मैंने कहा अच्छा चलो जान दो, मतलब अब यहाँ तो होने से ना, because भाई तो सारे भेजेंगे नहीं. भाई बोलेंगे भाई बहन हमारी दूसरा काम कर ले, यहाँ तो नहीं भेजेंगे. So I was not allowed to go. But then I remember there was this one ad film that my brother had, and he's like, why don't you come over as a group artist? ऐसा group है. It's like very youngsters, very fun, playful वाला ad था for some deodorant, and which was I think some 10 years back, 8 years back. So I was like, अच्छा ठीक है जाते हैं. I remember this female artist. ठीक है. He was in the other room getting ready, and there were like all female artists getting ready. He would just text her, why don't you come here? Why don't you come here? When he hugged, and I felt little weird, and then I realized, भाई दूर ही रहना.
तो दूर रहो भैया.
भाई दूर रहो. उधर ही ठीक हो. उधर ही अच्छे लग रहे हो. So you get, and females, they can sense as compared to men.
In general आप लोग बहुत sorted हो भाई.
Sorted मतलब like I said, because
हमारा पता नहीं कुछ नहीं हो सकता भाई.
A lot of things. See, I'm telling you, it's because we, like I said, one of the reasons why I'm so much imposing this thing, or maybe I'm focusing and I'm pushing it कि female operate from emotions, because emotions are basically the drawstrings of your life. They are like drawstrings नहीं बोल सकते. They're basically the foundation. तुम वर्क प्लेस पे बोलो, तुम काम पे बोलो, तुम कहीं पे भी बोलो, your emotions के basis पे everything functions, right?
Correct.
And based on that, which is why female, because they come from that space, they understand a lot of things. Even whether it's verbal, non-verbal, everything females understand.
Got it.
They get it because the first thing that they do is they pick on the emotion. So I think that's one of the reasons.
Interesting. Awesome. We've had like a really intense discussion on a lot of things. I'm sure, as Ekta had mentioned in the intro.
But I still have a question. Deepak, how's your personal life? How's your love life?
Time for an outro. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in.
No, you are yet to answer. Please do that.
That's the Chill Hour offline session. We'll talk about that. Yeah, moving on. Thank you so much. I think we'll do the outro. You can do the outro on this camera. How did you feel? Or did you... कैसा लगा? मजा आया?
I chilled.
You chilled for an hour?
I chilled for an hour. And
more than an hour, yeah.
And more than that, I just don't want this to end. Can we chill more?
Yeah.
We have episode 2 coming up, so stay tuned. But more than that, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my dear friend's channel.
Yes. That's
the Chill Hour.
No, it's called Deepak Pareek only.
His name is Deepak Pareek.
Don't say Deepu, yeah. What is this, Ekta?
Yeah. So please do like, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget to drop a comment, whatever question that you have. Please put it in comment section so that we do round 2, answering all your questions. I'm sure. Are we doing round 2?
Yeah.
We are answering your questions. We promise we do. थोड़ा प्रोब कर दो.
ये फायदा होता है क्रिएटर को लाने का. सब काम वही कर देते हैं. मेरे को करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. लाइक, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब भी बोल दिया. इंस्टाग्राम पे फॉलो कर लेना.
इंस्टाग्राम पे फॉलो भी कर देना.
I'll link.
And please comment जरूर करना, because we definitely want to answer a lot of your questions. We know you have a lot of questions, so please do comment.
Awesome. Thank you so much guys for watching. अगर आप अभी तक देख रहे हो तो आपके पास भी बहुत टाइम है जिंदगी में और आप हमारी तरह So आप भी subscribe. I'll link Ekta's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Tinder, Bumble, wherever she is.
Tinder, Bumble. I'm not on any Tinder, Bumble, nothing.
But yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. And बस अब YouTube बंद करो, काम वाम में लग जाओ.